push. So that's over and done with. And now that we can have that out there, we are on being recorded. But thank you, Kali has been a dear friend and wisdom teacher to me for many, many years. So appreciate you so much. Thank you for sharing your wisdom here. And I'm excited for our retreat together. And then I want to introduce Kaya, and we are also doing a retreat together. We are going to be going to Iceland together and rebirthing ourselves from the earth, through the landscape, through art, through the water, through the volcanoes, through connecting with the way that things are still so wild there, and to return to some of the motherlands that some of us come from. And Kaya is an amazing shamanic, somatic healer. She's a soul guide. I want to introduce Kaya.
Thank you, Tara. Hi, I'm Kaya, and I feel so honored and blessed to be here in this moment and the timelessness with you, all of you. And I'm excited about our journey that's coming up to go rewild ourselves into the great mysteries, into new lands that we have really no, there's nothing there that we can create an old story with, really, because it's new territory. And I love opening up that sea of stars and being able to go to the waters and see the reflection of the sky and these really blue waters in the blue lagoon, and so healing and so right up my alley. I can't wait to just hang out in the water for days. And Tara has been a dear sister of mine for so many years, like almost a decade now. And we have been down many paths, and we have a really solid foundation. And so we do ceremonies really well together. It's just like a natural flow where we get to show up and be human, and also share our wisdom and gifts, and open the space up for everybody to be included. It's all inclusive, and there's no hierarchy, and we live in our hearts. So that's what I really love about working with Tara. And Kali, I've known for many years, and it's been a while since I've seen you, Kali. I've missed you. And yeah, so I'm just excited to be here and to see what unfolds with the energy that we're creating in this very unique way of all of our vibrations aligning in this night of the full moon. I do somatic work. I've been through a couple different trainings with somatic processing, somatic trauma resolution, dynamic craniosacral therapy. I do remote clearings and Olympia. I've been of service to a lot of ceremonies. So I'm in the great mystery all the time. I'm always living by the seat of my pants. I've arranged my life so I don't exactly know what's going to happen next. So every moment is another opportunity to trust myself and to trust life. So life is a ceremony. So thank you for being in life ceremony with us today, all of you. Thank you.
Yay, thank you, Kaya. So our journey is going to be a little unique here. And so I want to just recognize again, like how excited I am about both the retreats coming up. The one in Florida, bringing from our womb to our voice, working with the rattles, working with Chinese medicine, working with reclaiming our womb, and Iceland, just really rebirthing ourselves with these amazing women that I feel very privileged to work with, these amazing beings. And I know we have Kelly jumped on one more, and I want to give her space to pop in if she wants. But there's another component to our trio here. We actually have a young woman who will be offering a song up at the end, and she sings devotionally. Her songs are her art, her sacred way. Her name is Felicia. She couldn't make it tonight, but you will be hearing her beautiful voice at the end. And what we did is we really just compiled pieces of our offerings as this seed planter, as this initiation place, so we can sit with and listen and have story and have herbal wisdom and have meditation and then have song. And because we are all moving in the ethers very quickly, the river is just really flowing so fast. This is about slowing down the time a little bit. And we each took that time to record something of ourselves and to share this with you tonight. And I hope that you will just sit back and relax and enjoy and listen and do the things that you are doing if you need to, if you're around, or just let your body get some rest as we go through it. And at the end, you're more than welcome to stay on, and we'll be here if you have any questions. And we can also just go in peace and honor this great full moon, this beautiful Gemini full moon. So before I move forward with that, does anybody, Kelly, do you want to pop on and introduce yourself? Does anybody have anything else to say? I am
Oh,
the,
sorry.
there we go.
I just wanted to join you guys and just be a part of, what's going on. So that's all.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm going to just say that Kelly's a sacred sister that I worked with in the nonprofit world, and she has helped me with Legal Shield, that has helped me several times. Just, having that in access, and she's an amazing woman, just such a beauty, and I'm so grateful she's here with us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just call in as we open up this new screen, and just call in for a second this sacred circle. And I just invite you to sit back. You can turn off your videos, you can keep them on. Just make sure you mute yourself so that we can enjoy the content that's here. And just know that we're all here together, and we get to have this beautiful way of connecting through the rivers of the ethers. And it doesn't always have to be negative electromagnetic frequency. Like, there are ways now that we can get in and send our message on the river flow. So I'm going to go ahead and begin this. And Shanti. Good evening. This is Tara Saren with the Hearth Fire Stories and Story Time. Tonight I want to honor a great ally and warrior in this time of working with our evolution and our immune systems and our bodies. And Cayenne has come in at the beginning of the last couple of years working with the corona, with the sun eclipse virus moving through our systems. And Cayenne became in as a great ally, a gentle healer, a gentle warrior, one that walks with our nervous system and talks to our bodies and helps us get the blood moving to release and cleanse the things that we don't need anymore through the illusion of the fire, and yet the rootedness of the fire that we have within us. Because Cayenne works with the nervous system and creates an illusion of being burned in our systems with our nervous system, but it does not actually burn us. And in that way, it increases blood flow and moves the things that we need to, especially when we're working with stagnant blood and other aspects of disease and imbalance. And it walks with that warrior way, in the way of the Mars, as it starts to occult the moon and goes into the shadow of both our moon and our earth. I want to welcome the warrior. I want to ask that warrior to sit down at my hearth table and sit with the fire, and to lay down his weapons and lay down her weapons, lay down their weapons, and ask them just to be with us, to rest and renew in the shadow, in the depths, in the darkness, in the time that we're not seeing, and know that things are still moving that the sun is still shining, that our Sowilo, our sun, is still shining on us. And our earth is sharing shelter. And so too is our moon, reflecting shelter back into the depths that we don't always get to go into. And so also when we put our weapons down, we can sit at the hearth fire in an equal way and in a sacred way where we sit in gratitude and encourage each other, challenge each other in that encouraging way. And so today I want to honor our story time by reading the story by Michael and Leslie Tiara. And I'm not sure where the story originates, but we do know the cayenne pepper originated in South America and made its way all over the continent via birds and intelligence that allowed it to make a medicine that would connect with others and travel all over the world so that it could become accessible to humankind. And it's one of those plants that's not only a healer, but it does take us into these altered ways where we're able to release and reveal. And so tonight is our story time. Kai and the Fire. There once lived a young warrior named Kai. Strong and skillful, he was also very handsome. Yet he bragged all the time, and he thought he was the best at everything. At first, the other children put up with this because they admired Kai's strength and skill. But the constant bragging and the winning of all their games made them feel unhappy. Eventually, Kai didn't have any friends at all. One day, when the villagers were tired of his behavior, they created an impossible challenge so to be rid of him. Kai had to get the eye tooth of the tiger, and he could not return to the village until he had done so. Confident and happy, Kai accepted the ordeal, for he thought it would make him a hero. Kai searched far and wide, an expert hunter, and he found plenty of game, but oddly, never once did he see a tiger. After several years, Kai became lonely and discouraged with his failure. This forced him to think about his life, and he realized he was self-centered, unkind, and never thought of anyone but himself. For the first time in his life, Kai knew he needed help. Kai cried out long and hard to Great Spirit, "Please help me change my ways. Help me to learn in harmony with all the people." And suddenly a medicine man appeared and said he had been magically sent to help Kai. He said there was a special ceremony that they could perform, that Kai could help himself change. Kai gratefully accepted. When it was dark, Kai and the medicine man built a very large fire. Then the medicine man told Kai, think about all the old behaviors he wanted to change. Kai thought about his boasting, his acting like he was better than everybody else, and always having to win when he played his games. He thought of the people he hadn't respected and all the friends he had lost. Finally, he thought about how lonely and selfish he had become as a result. Then the medicine man saw Kai was ready. He said, "Now give these thoughts, feelings, and old behaviors to the fire. Kai, ask the fire to help you to change." Kai had to use all of his inner strength and skill to focus on this task, and he imagined all his old feelings and behaviors flying out of him into the fire, and the flames leapt higher and higher into the night. Soon the fire was roaring furiously, and increasing heat threatened to burn Kai. Then abruptly the fire flung large drops of flames into the bright night. They fell like hot shower of rain into the earth. This went on all night. It was nearly dawn before Kai became weary, and the fire died down. Exhausted, Kai fell to the ground. Although he was tired, he felt all of his old feelings were gone. And in their place was a soothing peace surging through his body. Kai was filled with thanks and the wonder of life. As the sun rose, Kai looked around and was startled to see a new plant growing everywhere in sight. It had a strange red fruit. The medicine man said, "This fire has changed your old behavior into a gift for the people. This new plant has a fruit which carries your strength and your zeal, yet it heals rather than hurts. Go take it back to your village to share with your people, your tribe." Kai returned to his tribe with the red fruit, and it was shaped exactly like a tiger's eye tooth. It had a sharp, biting taste, also like the tiger. And the fruit healed many illnesses and helped his people. When the villagers saw how this gift represented miraculous change in Kai, they named the pepper cayenne after him. And in time, Kai grew wise and generous, and his life became filled with happiness and friends. And so let us take the wisdom of that inner medicine man, that inner medicine woman, that inner medicine being, bring it into our sacred self. And just for a moment notice, a noticeable moment, just for a moment notice the peace within the darkness, on that moment of pause that we can decipher and find peace in the release of that which is reflected and no longer serves us, no longer serves people in which we interact and live with. And by the people, we also mean the environment that we live in and the beings that we interact with that are all legged and winged and light. And just take that moment to reflect into the inner peace of our own wisdom and offer it up to the fire, like cayenne in this time of Shiva. Allow ourselves to be transmuted and our gifts of new light, of new truth, of new taste, of stimulation, of circulation, of protection and shared experience be revealed and cultivated throughout the lands. And may we find peace and rest in this moment, the one that's still in between the moments of the flames, a quantum moment. Thank you. Have a good night.
Hello, beautiful beings. I'm so grateful to be here with you in this moment, and I'm really excited to share with you a few of my favorite Chinese herbal remedies to keep you healthy throughout these winter months. And the first remedy I want to share with you is called Yuping Fengsan, and this translates into jade windscreen. This is an amazing formula, especially if you find that you've had a weakened immune system or that you tend to catch every cold that comes your way, like you're the person who is afraid anytime someone's sick around you because you're going to get it. This is perfect for you because what it does is it creates a little screen, a little jade magic screen all around your aura, and it makes it harder for things to come in and actually affect you. I found out about this formula when I was going to school, Chinese herbal school, and my daughter was about 3 years old, and she was starting her school experience for the first time. And it seemed like every week she was coming home with something new. And I knew that I was probably going to get it too. And if sure enough, I probably got every single thing that she got. And that happened for about 6 months to a year. I guess it was only 6 months, but it felt like a year. And I was so sick of getting sick all the time. And my teachers were like, Kali, we're sick of you getting sick. And I was like, yeah, me too. And they were like, maybe you should try jade windscreen. And I haven't stopped taking it since. Another benefit of this medicine is it prevents cold sores. So if you're somebody who gets cold sores often, this also could prevent you from getting those too, which is a nice added bonus. What it does is it just creates this protective barrier of qi that makes it harder to enter into your system and get you sick. So jade windscreen, definitely have it in the medicine cabinet. I take it every day, just a little bit every day. I give some to my daughter every day. The only thing you want to watch out for with this medicine is if you're on the dry side, if your poops are dry and they are a little bit round and hard like deer poops, you might want to back off on the jade windscreen some, or you might want to add some other things in to bring more moisture into your body. But it's a pretty safe formula for most people, and I highly recommend it just to keep you healthy. That said, if you do feel like you're getting sick, you do not want to take jade windscreen, because taking a Chinese formula that tonifies when you're getting sick actually tonifies the pathogens too. So if you're getting sick, you want to stop taking jade windscreen and you want to switch over to another one of my favorite formulas called Gan Mao Ling. Some people take Gan Mao Ling right now as a preventative as well. It prevents wind, cold, and wind heat, which is kind of nice because when you first get that I'm not feeling quite right feeling, you're not sure, am I going to get the chills? Am I going to get the fever? Do I have a sore throat? Do I have a headache? You're not sure what all the symptoms are yet. And Gan Mao Ling kind of covers both sides. So if you take that every few hours when you're first experiencing something, it can usually knock it back, at least shorten the duration of the illness by 2 to 3 days, if not preventing you from getting sick altogether. This formula is also taken very often to prevent COVID. I know some people who have been on this formula every day since COVID came, and it's been keeping them healthy. And it's a very strong, it has very strong antiviral properties. So that's why it works so well for the prevention of COVID. And yeah, so those are two of my favorite Chinese herbal formulas. And I will send you my favorite ways to get them too. I like Treasures of the East granules for the jade windscreen, and I like to take the Gan Mao Ling in a tincture form. I find that the tinctures work really quickly when I'm starting to feel something, and it's easy for me to keep in my purse so that I have it with me in case I do feel that tickle or something coming on, that I have it right then. I also like to use ionic liquid zinc, and I will put in the description my favorite zinc too that has no flavor, so that you can actually take high doses of zinc, and of course vitamin C. So those are some of my favorite things to do. In Chinese medicine, colds are thought of as wind, and the wind enters through the back of your neck. So you want to make sure that when it's cold outside, you're wearing a scarf. It really is more than just a style or something that your mom said, there are points here that the wind can just enter straight into, and it just goes straight into your body. So you want to protect this area of your body. You want to try to keep your nose warm. So any way to warm up your head and keep your nose and face warm during these cold winter days, which I don't really experience too much of because I live in Florida, but we do have freezing nights sometimes, and we do get sick. We often get sick a little bit more in the summertime, though. Anyhow, you also want to keep your midriff, like your lower back, warm because there's some points in the lower back that are also susceptible to wind. So wind is like an external pathogen that comes in and wants to bring sickness into the body. So keeping those points covered can help keep you healthy. And these are both great remedies to have in the cupboard, especially over the holidays. You know, give everybody jade windscreen, keep them healthy. And if anyone's feeling anything, give them the Gan Mao Ling as soon as you can and load them up on it and try to keep these things at bay. I found I just had like 10 people in my house and only one person got the flu. I was able to keep everybody else healthy by hooking them up on the jade windscreen and giving them other, you know, ganmaling and some vitamin C and stuff. So I really believe in it, and I hope that it's helpful for you too. The other thing that I really love is called jamu, and jamu is a Balinese drink. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but it's like, it looks like orange juice, and they drink it in the morning like orange juice, but it's not orange juice at all. And some people make it as a tea, but I prefer to juice fresh turmeric, fresh ginger, and fresh lemon with the peel. I use organic lemon so I can juice the peel too. And then you have this really concentrated juice that you use like maybe a tablespoon in a small glass with warm water. So I'll add a little bit of hot water and honey, and then I'll add the jamu with a little cold water so the jamu isn't getting too hot. I usually add the cold water first. So it turns into warm water, and then I add the juice at the end. And so it's like a warm beverage with honey, turmeric, ginger, and lemon. And that seems to kick out things as well. So these are my remedies to you over this holiday winter season. I hope you stay healthy, and I hope that some of these provide as much of a benefit to you as they have to me in my life. And I look forward to sharing more wisdom, recipes, and treasures from the East and the West together. So many blessings to you this holiday season.
Hello, my name is Kaya, and I'm here to guide us into a place where we can ground into our own centered beingness. During this full moon that's approaching in Gemini, there can be a lot of different energies. Gemini is very exploratory and creative, and also there's a lot of Mars energy coming in. So within these pulses of the airy Gemini, the mind, and the Mars, which is the god of war in certain traditions. So we can be in places that feel really chaotic. And as with all things, and especially within the concept of Gemini, there's always a twin, a mirror, another perspective. And in Vedic astrology, sidereal, this moon is exalted in Taurus. And Taurus is a very grounded, loving, rooted energy, and a good place to plant seeds of the consciousness that are stable, and to have a focus of what do we want to bring in as we're stepping in every foot forward to create what we're here to create in our world with our consciousness and our awareness and our pure intention. So we get to choose. Do we want to ground into the earth energies of Taurus, or do we want to be in the airy Gemini mental creative aspects that can be matching with possibly some conflict at this time, or not? So let's close our eyes and take some nice deep breaths. Nice deep breath in and out. Noticing you can feel the belly and the chest as you breathe in and out. Feeling the body breath in, hold at the top and out. Noticing the natural breath in the body. Finding the stability of your spine, upright position. And putting the hands on the belly for a moment. Just feeling the core of you. Third eye gaze as if you're slightly looking down at the tip of your nose. Gently letting your eyes rest above that space, slightly above. There you go. Relaxing as much as possible into this moment, this place and time. And we're going to send our roots down, all the way down, through wherever you're sitting, all the way down through the floor, into the mama, our beautiful great mother, the earth, our home. Feeling your breath under your hands. Feeling the light of you connecting with the damp soil of the earth below. Allowing yourself to be in the vibration of the hum. Noticing this hum in your breath. It's very slight. And regardless of all the air, whatever there might be in the pulse of the chaos, in the collective consciousness, and even in the closeness of our lives that surround us or within us, all the above perhaps. For we are connected to everything. And that is how it is. We can choose to fight it. We can choose to have battles within us between the grounded harmonic resonance that we can connect in with in this earth, plane of existence with our own grounded root center and our empowered breath. Or we can be tossed up into the winds of change and the unknowns, into the battles within, without us, all the things that we cannot control, swirling about, getting lost in confusion, being disappointed with how things are or how things aren't. And yet here we are, So come as you are, everyone. Breathe here into your belly. Ground it in, finding that root, that center, regardless of what's going on in the mind or the minds of the world. The mastermind. And look deep within yourself. Invoke the stillness inside. I'm going to show you a way, a very simple way to do this. So relax, however you want to place your hands, where you're most relaxed, where you feel most accepting. Letting the body relax. Noticing how the shoulders can kind of glide down the back a little. Maybe you need to do a little movement just for a moment. Just finding the flow of the breath in the body, the surrender. Starting to bring in the oceanic breath. Inhale, exhale. Riding the tides of the waves, the waters of your own being, the oceans of emotion inside of you. Letting yourself have slight movement to that. Letting yourself release the rigidity of any concepts that you have of meditation or of how to show up in your center. Bringing in the movement that is you right now in your tone. No one else's. Wherever you feel tension in the body, just give it a really gentle caress with your movement in this oceanic breath. Allowance. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to come as you are. There's nowhere else to be. There's no one or nothing else to compare it to. We go many places in these bodies, in this life, and beyond. We come from many places. We have been many things. So come as you are, from where you are, exactly where you are, on the timeline, on the grid, noticing your resistances and just moving into them. Oceanic breath, like the tide, the ebb, and the flow. Find your shore in this movement. How much breath can you give yourself here? Notice where the ocean meets the shore, where the skies above and the air meet the roots below. And letting yourself be in that center. And knowing that there's movement there. Everything is always in motion. When we try to stop that and control it, the mind starts to take control of us. The mind is in the driver's seat. That ego mind, that trickster. And when we allow ourselves to be in the rhythm, the movement, the vibration, tone, and pulse of the waters, the dance of the tides, we can allow ourselves to ride these waves with acceptance from a place of our own knowing that we have been all things and everything changes. So any tension that's in the body, all the information that we've been absorbing, all that has been coming in from the outside that we have brought inside of ourselves, allowed to penetrate our own realities, starting to move in a way that encircles the circumference of our own being back into the present moment. And circles to the right are very helpful here. Letting the breath settle in to its natural state. Perhaps taking a breath in as you circle around the front and letting it go out around the back. Slowly coming inward, finding that circle back around your own center being. Visualizing your structure, the bones that are you. This is the yang energy, the bones, the stability. So as you bring that ocean energy and that movement, spiraling it into the bones, this is the harmonic balance that is available to us at all times. Bringing it in, centering it up, and allowing yourself to be still here for a moment. Third eye gaze, upright position, yet relaxed in your breath, in your being. Allow yourself to come as you are. There is nowhere else to be but here, right now. Allow yourself to be the center of all that is in this moment. Noticing all the sensations in your body. Noticing how you're feeling now that you've moved into the oceanic breath. Finding the shores of your being. Meeting with the rooted, grounded place inside of you that meets the rooted, grounded core of the earth, our mother, our home. And noticing the yin, the divine essence of you, relaxing in the allowance. Noticing the marriage of the yin of you, the waters of your being, gently meeting the shores, leaning into the bones of your own structure, the yang, the masculine essence that is holding you up in your structure, your core stability. Noticing this divine union and giving gratitude to yourself for meeting yourself here. Thank you for meeting here with us. And blessings on your way as you bring this wisdom and this knowledge into your day-to-day. And bringing the hands, prayer position to the heart. Just taking these hands, noticing the energies of the two sides of you merging as one here at the heart. And slightly pressing in to the extent that you can really feel that union. Moving between the energies of your hands and the two sides of your body. Taking some nice deep breaths into that. One more. But on the next breath, we're going to take one universal tone of Om. This is a frequency of the everything and the nothing. So as you find your breath again here, preparing yourself for your Om, don't be too concerned with what the sound is. Notice the vibration, the frequency that it creates inside of you. Taking a breath in and out. And on the next in, we're going to let the tone of Om come out. Let the frequency spread all through every cell in your body. Gratitude for this existence, for this precious life. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the teachings, all the choices, and all the ways that we can feel our own truth resounding within us when we come as we are in this now. Prayer hands up to the third eye. Bow to yourself. In this moment of showing up, bow to the all that is and all the teachings and our reflections, all the mirrors as life mirrors itself to us. Let us be humble and let us ask for grace to be ours. And let us love from the purest places in our hearts. Thank you. Slowly opening the eyes, relaxing the hands, coming back into the room. Thank you so much. Are you kidding me? Oh, it is still recording. Oh, beautiful Gemini moon. Thank you. So much love.
Iluminando escuridão, sempre a nossa mãe a confortar na imensidão. Iluminando escuridão, sempre a nossa mãe a confortar na imensidão. Oi, lua que brilha e tão formosa. Oi, lua que brilha e tão formosa. Você ilumina por onde passa e sua luz penetra no ar.
And as we come back to ourselves, just take this moment of peace. And I know that we had some technical difficulties. We were very lucky for this to play all the way through, and also with everybody's busy schedules to be able to even take the time to record and bring the space between just to be together on this full moon. And I trust the experience so much that what happens is the transmission comes across no matter what. And we've been sitting here and I've had a low frequency of 432 playing, and the beauty of my clan, my sacred community, you know, Teresa had to pop off because she's in Seattle and just moving their bags around, but she texted how sacred it was to be with each one of you. Juanita is on here, dear sister who worked with me in Servicios. And I'm just looking around at all the faces reflected back, even if your screen isn't even showing. And I'm just so grateful that you got to witness two of my most trusted beings in my life that I'm so grateful to do these retreats with, and to sit in circle with some of the most important people that are also in my life and community. And so I get to really sit here in gratitude and in that transmission. And what I've found is the space between is so important. So I'm going to let anybody else who wants to share or offer anything before we move into our night. The circle is open.
I want to share. Can you see the moon?
Yeah.
It rose for me during our call, and so beautiful. I guess I get it bigger or higher than you guys since I'm in Florida sooner, you know. Anyhow, there's the moon.
Thanks for bringing in the east, Kali. You get to see the first moon rise. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I
and
saw that.
Kaya said she couldn't hear the medicines very well, but luckily we made a PDF, so that's nice.
Yeah, we have a PDF and we're lucky that this actually got to play through. I wasn't even able to render the video, so it will come out more audible when I share the replay.
I saw that little little moon there in the little tiny one that is you, Kelly, and it's like a little frame at the top of my screen anyways, if you're trying to figure out what I'm talking about. Anyways, and I thought, oh, it just gave me joy to see whatever it was. I was like, something's moving. So neat to see the moon over there. And I loved this. I loved the bones and the ocean coming together. Thank you. And it was Kaya, right? And then the Come As You Are really connected with me with the Cayenne story. Because the Cayenne, you know, that need to be like the best and the need to be great and can't be wrong, and the Come As You Are just such a nice balance. And yeah, then the shore, and then coming into the shore, all of that really gelled really nicely for me, you guys. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke. Appreciate you. I felt each one of you on this vibration. Thank you for your share. Does anybody else want to share?
I have one more other thing to say. I got stuck on thing and then it mute or something. My dog came, it was like hugging me, "Mommy, la, la, la," and then it hung up. So I missed a little bit of what you said, Brooke, but I caught the very end, and full to spend this full moon together.
Yeah, the transmissions go out when we gather. Kaya, you want to speak?
I just said thank you, Kali. I really appreciate being here with all of you as well. And thank you for your graciousness, Brooke, to hang in there and really be able to receive the transmission like that. I felt there was some sound difficulties, so it really warms my heart that you were able to just push through all that and really like see the gems in it and bring them into your heart. And I really feel that about you. So thank you. Thank you, Tara, for putting this all together, for bringing us together. So such a beautiful sacred moment of energies. And thank you, Kali, for being here and for bringing the dancing moon. Whatever you're doing with your phone, it's dancing. It's a little bit mesmerizing. That's how it is.
This is Juanita Tara. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Juanita.
How are you, Tara?
Oh, honey, I'm so good. I'm sitting here with my sisters and beings of family, and I'm so grateful to hear you pop on.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I'm going to be 70 this year, and I have no clue about technology. So I wish that I could see you guys, but I don't know how to make that work on my phone, and I may even lose audio. But the Gemini moon means a lot to me, and I was so grateful for your invitation. So thank you, ladies, for the invitation.
Juanita, thank you. Juanita's a badass. She makes sure people are fed. You know, she makes sure that things are happening in the places they need to be happening. And she is just a badass auntie to me. And so thank you for your share, Juanita.
You're very welcome. I'm still in that business too, by the way.
In service, sister. We walk all together.
Thank you, Tara.
Ah, igualmente.
All right.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for inviting me. And I have a question about the moon. I was noticing there's like an orange star sitting on the side of it. And does anybody know what that is? Is it a planet that's visible tonight?
Well, I will say
Mars.
that, I'm not sure if that's Mars, but I do know that Mars is actually in the shadow of the moon, the Earth are in a cult. They're in between Mars and the sun. So Mars is not getting any actual direct light from the sun. And that's where we are really sitting with that warrior energy and finding the peace and sitting in the stillness with that, because it's not very often we get to be in this place with Mars.
Thank you.
Does Kaya, do you have any more to say about that?
Just the energy of Mars can create a lot of intensity, and within my meditation, that was my intention, to bring ourselves to that center inside our own body, spirits, and minds, so that we remember that we have a choice. So that instead of going into the reactivity that Mars can often bring, that we can go into the responsiveness and be in our centered, aligned homeostasis and balance in our own bodies, just to take a moment to breathe into ourselves and remember who we are. So
Yeah, which and Brooke was saying too, with the alignment of Kaya's meditation in the story of Cayenne, you know, really just finding a way to move the energies through the fire and come back to the stillness, but in this come as you are kind of space, just being okay and finding the peace between. And that's really where what Kaya's saying is there's a place of pause before the reactivity. Jess, do you want to share?
Yes, thank you. That was amazing. I really enjoyed it. And mostly I could hear, but even without hearing every word, I was receiving the transmission. And the first part definitely something just like felt like it really hit me. And then everything else that followed just was so beautiful. So I feel like bliss right now, and I'm very grateful for Brooke telling me about this and for everyone putting this on.
aw.
I had a lot of fun and I'm super relaxed. I'm like almost asleep. It's really nice. I feel such a calming energy here. It's really hitting me like, wow, beautiful.
Mm,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm feeling that calm as well. And you know, it's so beautiful how you know, there's the technology is such an interesting way to connect, but when we finally find the sacred and we can sit at that central fire together, like I feel the transmissions come through. And so thank you for reflecting that back. And I think let's just all go in a circle and just plant one beautiful seed, one beautiful intention, one beautiful a few bits of words, like no more than a sentence, to plant on this full moon. And so Kaya, do you want to start?
Sure. Thank you for witnessing me here, and my intention to invoke embracing all of the infinite possibilities, the positivity and prosperity in my life on all levels, in all ways, all dimensional realities and planes of existence, all timelines, and into the timelessness. And right now, thank you. Hmm.
Kali, do you want to share?
Yeah. Um, okay, well, I was going to just share one word, but Kaya was like blasting them out. I'm like, are we sharing one word? Or are we blasting things out? Well, okay, this full moon is special to me. I feel like this is a beginning, that I'm planting the seed of sharing myself. I was gifted a screech owl about a week ago, and it's coming with an emergence of my voice and sharing. So that's the seed that I'm planting, this remembrance of that we are the wisdom women, and we must carry it forth so that so that it is known.
Oh, Juanita, you're next in line, darling. Would you like to share one seed of intention?
I would. I don't. It may take more than one sentence, but this year I am at a whole different place in my life. I'm still working to feed our unhoused friends that we have throughout the state. However, this is the Christmas time, and this moon is so special to me because the past 20 years I worked at a place where I built it up so much that I had plenty of help. And this year I have almost zero help. And I made one phone call to my dad, who's 88 years old. And he is going to be helping me distribute Christmas presents next Tuesday. And I would have never thought that I'd go that avenue. I always thought that I would reach out to younger people who had, the emotion and the strength to help me. And they're all so busy, but I was fortunate to look at the moon earlier tonight, and I made a phone call to my dad, and he said he'd be happy to help me distribute gifts next Tuesday. So I think so often we forget about our elders and concentrate, which we should, on our younger friends and people. But I also want to remember that the reason we're here is because of our elder generation. So that's what this full moon means to me today.
Oh, Mateo, what a huge blessing. Thank you for sharing the wisdom, for bringing the eldership in.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Brooke, would you like to share?
Yes. So I wanted to say, Kali, too, I had my first owl this year. So this one is one that I had myself, and these beautiful gifts really, really made a huge soul impact on me. And and when I was connecting with the bird and what it meant to have it come into my life, and about this time, there's a real dropping in to myself and kind of the spirit I've always felt. But so that in that line, I kind of wrote out something I wanted to say so I could pull it together. But so I really want to plant the seed of calm in the midst of the motion of life, and the deep vision of seeing and hearing within, and giving others permission through that, to know themselves. And that's it.
That's so beautiful, Brooke. Thank you. It's something that I also relate to very much around going within to connect, help others find them, that inner North Star. And before we go to Kelly, I just want to say there have been many owl activations, screech owls. Many people have been receiving the owl wings. And I remember when I received mine, it is a huge calling to step in and to bring your voice, that we need you and that you have received it. It's a huge initiation. So thank you both for bringing the owl medicine in, which also Felicia brought in with her song. Wasn't that such a beautiful song? And Kelly, you want to go ahead and share your seed?
Thank you. So those wings are so beautiful. I just wanted to start there. But just want to plant that seed of just the union of the circle that you guys have created, and that our vibration and manifestation will just travel right through us and around the whole world, and that all things that we want will come to fruition because we know it's all inclusive and for mankind and for our earth. Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, I want to put a blessing in there for you and your family too, sister. Thank you. Jess, do you want to bring us full circle with your
Yes, I would love that. So my intention is to receive clarity around my path as a priestess. And that's it.
Oh, clarity is such a beautiful seed to be planted, and may it come with grace and humbleness and all the beauty that spirit flows with. May all our prayers be uplifted. I notice at all times tonight we had 7 beautiful beings, 7 beautiful beings of light. Whether one stepped off, then another came. Both are elders actually holding us in that way. And so I really want to acknowledge the eldership, and my son did pop in for a little bit. So let's also acknowledge the descendants. And my prayer is, and my seed planted is for deep gratitude and appreciation and the ability to receive all of what I already have, and the wealth that is within me to grow and connect and appreciate with others. So that is my seed planted, and already I'm already seeing the results of it, sitting here looking at all of the energies coming back at me, whether I can see your faces or not. So thank you. I'm wondering, Kaya, if you would like to lead us in an Om as we close our circle tonight. And just know we can take ourselves off of Kali has to go. She says she's so grateful for all of us beautiful, powerful beings. If you want to take off your mute and Om with us, it's totally fine. It will probably cancel everything out. Nobody will hear anybody else, and that's okay. And if you want to just have your mute and Om on your own, that's fine. And we'll do 3 Oms, Kaya.
So just getting in a upright position, taking a nice big cleansing breath. Inhale and exhale. And on the next inhale, we're going to start with our first Om. And one more. Nice big deep breath in. Hands to the heart, prayer pose. Allowing yourself to receive the vibration in every cell in your body. Hands together to the third eye, taking that bow of gratitude for showing up for yourself today. For all the steps that it took to be here now. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Shanti.
Shanti Om.
May we go in light, in love, to share the beacons of our light, and may our seeds be planted and nourished in love. Blessings to each one of you.
Blessings.
Blessing. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Enjoy the moon.
Thank you.
How?
Good night. Good night.
Woo!
Good night. Night, Juanita. You know how to exit out, my dear? All right, well, I'm going to stop the recording.